this. We got everybody here that needs to be here on the, okay, now, let's call this meeting in order. And let's
Clark,
see.
would you tell me who all's there?
Yep. We've got Jay, we got Mary, we've got George, we've got Larry, we got Lisa, we got
Kathy,
excuse me, Robert,
Sonia,
Claudia was here a while ago.
Sharon, and
Claudia's coming in, Sharon and.
But Sharon and
John.
Claudia are coming back, and then we got Renee and Maria, I see, on the Zoom.
Dr. Blair.
And we got Al on the blue. Al on the Zoom.
Okay, well, good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, Johnny.
All right, we do have a quorum. Boy, howdy.
You need that
I
green
need some
tea.
whiskey.
You need that green tea.
Is that bad? You need whiskey at midnight in the morning?
Why not, you know?
It's fine, but I'm saying my things must be bad if you want whiskey.
It must be bad, that's right. Well, I did tell you how I'm so late, so. All right, Robert, you got anything? Welcome as a guest.
I was real surprised at how salty that lake water is, guys. You know, it's I don't know if you've tested it or if you've seen it on your crops, but it's.
Really?
Yes, sir. It's bad.
I just see chocolate, and I think.
Oh, okay, well, you've got the better stuff. And I really want to thank Jay for taking care of problems. You know, his predecessor went out of his way, it seemed like, to make the problem worse. And this guy is I appreciate what he's done. I gotta go, I got a lot of work, it's hot.
All right, Robert, thank you, and kudos.
Thanks, Robert. Take
Yeah, I
care.
think that's a compliment.
That's a compliment. All right, very good. Let's look over the minutes of the June 15th meeting. See if anybody saw anything in there that they wanted to correct. Anybody? George, Larry?
No. Right.
Okay, I got one small thing. Where's Claudia? Oh, Claudia, don't look over here at me. On item 11, where we resolved the district's irrigation allocation increase 4.0 acre-feet per acre of irrigable land for the 23 irrigation season, including without limitation tax exempt entities. And I would say, period, because it doesn't read to me, and the tracts under 2 acres in size will receive 10 irrigation. I would just put a period there at entities and then put as additional sentence, scratch out, and the tracts under 2 acres in size will receive 10 irrigation. Okay, because it doesn't roll.
Okay.
Okay?
Separated, yeah. Makes sense.
Okay, and so I'd make that small little correction there. It's just a little. It's the only thing I saw. Anybody else? If that's all right with everybody else? Okay, Chair will entertain a motion that we do that with that small correction. Larry, motion?
So moved.
Larry moves, George seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All right. Number 4, we got Lisa. Lisa, you don't have anything today.
Not
do
today,
you?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Not today, thank you.
Okay.
Lisa, I was asked about the elections. When are the elections?
May?
May?
Yes.
And when do people got to register?
The calendar will come out in December, if not beforehand, and then I'll put it out, but usually it's the January.
January?
Yes.
Okay. Mary,
Good morning.
good morning.
Morning.
Nice outfit, looks nice.
Thank you. Our first report is the monthly investment. So you can see on June 23rd, there was 2 investments with the Treasury bill. One is for $2 million at 6 months. We received 5.30 on 5.33% interest, and also the 4,086,400 with an interest of 5.24.
Those are the two new ones.
Those are the two new ones, correct. And there was the security bill that matured in the month of June as well, and we received 86,400 in interest.
Which is great.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
That's a wow.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, that's beautiful. All right.
Next is our balance sheet. We do have a 1.1 million invoice pending, which was just sent out in the month of June. We should be receiving that in the next 30 days.
That's,
And that reflects on the account 11600.
okay. But that's just one receipt, I mean, invoice?
Yes.
To,
We've received the other two.
and is that the city or?
That's with El Paso Water
Okay.
for our 2001 employment contract.
Okay, go ahead.
On the balance, Mary, on the balance sheet, on the AR, you got the big one, but what about all these other ones? Are they late, or what's the process for collecting them?
And all these other ones are our tax and water assessment fees.
Okay.
We do have our current, which reflects on the accounts 1150, 104, 05, 06, and 07. And then we have our prior year, which are below the accounts receivable, which is the 11650, 51, 52, 53, and 54.
Okay, and these are just ongoing, they're just ongoing?
Correct, correct.
Gotcha.
On the following report, which is our net revenue, there is a correction. It does not reflect the 2.2 million that we received with the 2001 contract. So our total year-to-date revenue, operating income is 10,351,662.
Okay.
Which we have surpassed our proposed budget for the year. We're estimating about 12 million receiving, which reflecting off of the expense, we will only be on a deficit of 1.5 million, where the original budget was at 5.9.
Okay. All right. I think I got that. Anybody else copy that? Mary, let me ask you a question on line, on the income side, 4,400 special capital projects. These are just the things we haven't gotten possibly with the grants.
Correct, and we are working on finalizing the quarterly reports in order to draw funds from the ASAP program that we use for those grants.
Okay, and then I have another question on the expense side. You go to 60901, payroll expense, and it says related. I just, what the heck does related mean?
Those are the Social Security and Medicare that on the employer side that we have to
Okay, that's Social Security and Medicare.
Correct.
The FICA and the,
and
okay,
yes,
and we show it on our books as related. Okay.
correct.
Just the nomenclature threw me there. Okay.
On the, another question, on the income operating side, 4054, 4504, you indicate reimbursement revenue other, I'm not sure what that means.
Those reflect any other small projects that we might have out of emergency had to do some type of service and we receive reimbursement. And that could be from the city of Socorro or the county.
And we're over on this one, right? On this line item?
Yes, we are.
And then on the 42216, use damage license, what is that?
Those are the licenses that have been approved for the 25-year, and there are use fees that go along with it.
Thanks.
Go. Any other questions? No? All right. Mary, you wanna go with 500? Don't need, got some questions, get after it, George.
Number 17, that's for testing the concrete.
Yes, Jake? Yes.
Okay, what policy do we got in place if we get some bad concrete or
So basically, if it fails below the required strength, it needs to be pulled out.
so we got let's say we got a company in there and they do that, they're liable for all the work that we've got put into it or what?
So that's usually a negotiation. Yeah, if we have to go and rip it out, I mean, we typically work with the supplier and, they'll pay for the concrete and, they'll help with the labor for us removing, or they'll remove it or haul it off. I mean, it'll have to be a negotiation. But yeah, if the concrete fails the compressive strength that is required, and there's always the supplier will always come back and try some local non-destructive testing to state that it warrants what is required. So we typically use 4,000 PSI on the event that it fails at 3,500 or 3,800, still above the 3,000. 3,000 PSI is typically the standard, but we ask for 4,000. As Miguel well knows, that way, if there is a particular section that doesn't pass, so we'll go, if it's below 3,000, then that's a problem, we'll pull it out.
But like when we get this concrete and we have a company come in and do it, and do we have anything written down that says that if it fails, they replace the concrete and the labor?
I guess, so the contract, not the contract, the bid, if it's a bid, and we have the specifications for the mix,
Right.
It's the supplier's contractual understanding that they need to provide what was specified in the bid package. So, yeah, if it falls below that, then yeah, we'll see what.
See, because I would, think we'd have something in place, don't you guys think?
The way I've always understood, the way I've always assumed, is that from a contractual, from the contracts, when they bid, I believe all our
It's on the bid.
suppliers,
It's on the bid?
Yeah.
all the
Yeah,
suppliers
Yeah,
go off
because
of.
I don't want us to go back and do the work and have us pay for it.
No, it's on the bid, it's on the specs are in the bid and everything, everybody bids off
Yeah.
the same template, and then they may the best man win. Now, what happens is that when it fails, the vendor is quick to say it's not my fault.
Yeah.
And then we have to bring the document saying, no, testing lab says you failed from here to here, and it says this, and it's us as owners, us as the purchaser, we have every right to say, you know what, we don't want your excuse, we want you to pull it out. And that language should be in the documents, and if it isn't, you need to make sure, because it's.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
That's why it needs to be black and white, because they skirt around it, and then you get into arguments like.
They try every maneuver and try the non-destructive testing, punching, and I mean, so this was for a grant. This particular, we retained the CQC services to do the third-party testing, as we need to supply USBR with the results of the testing, the slump, and the concrete breaks. So we need to submit that for our reimbursement.
Right.
But yeah, that way it's an independent third-party lab that takes care of what needs to be submitted. But yeah, The supplier will try to, I don't say get out of it, but they do their best. I mean, but you know, 4,000 is exceeding the norm. I guess the standard practice is 3,000 PSI. We've always used 4,000. It's just good practice. But yeah, if it's bad concrete, I mean, it needs to come out. I mean,
Right.
and it's very evident initially if it's not.
And it's really non-negotiable because our
Right.
hands are tied. We said, sorry, guy, the grants won't pay us, so
Exactly.
therefore you gotta take it out.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I'm saying?
I don't wanna be caught with us going back and having to pull it out with our people.
Right.
As it is, Pete's already,
Yeah, we
he's
had a
already
little section
swamped, and
there.
then we're, you know, doing that, you know, doing the job over because of a bad concrete or anything. You
Right.
know, I just wanna know if we got, you know, something written down in place that says they gotta cover if we got bad concrete or whatever.
It's in the contract, when we put out the bid package, yeah, and you know, and yeah, they need to follow the specs as they're written, by Dr. Blair or.
Let me talk to this issue, okay? Can I
Yeah.
talk to it? Every concrete pour is unique. In other words, there's different weather conditions and different requirements. And Jay's right, because of this issue, we overspec. We feel it's saved us many times. There's also performance that we have to get systems functioning in a very timely manner. So this last incident, I assume, Larry, you're talking about this incident that happened over on the Montoya.
Yes, sir.
There's also cause for, as Miguel was saying, there's always cause, since we're the ones that have certain responsibilities, such as doing some tests and determining the temperature at which we pour and things of that nature, that the vendor, of course, will try to say it's something we did or some conditional thing. So this last one, I guess Jay and I probably spent 2 weeks retesting and discussing with Pete what actually went on. And then we have, looking at the water being released earlier than we expected this year, made a decision that Pete was going to pull all that out to get it over with, rather than us litigate, because you could be in a situation where you would litigate that. I mean, we do have a contract, it doesn't, we have rights, we probably could litigate, we probably went in court, I don't know, but that would probably take 2 years, so it doesn't get the Montoya system working again, which we had to do. So those decisions have to be made in the field and with quite a bit of judgment, and our team, I think, works very effectively. That's Jay, me, and Pete. Robert helps us too. He evaluates it. We figure out what went wrong, why did it go wrong, who's at fault, and then we, as Jay said, we enter into a negotiation to try to get it resolved as quickly as possible. We've had very few failures, very few, and a failure on a shotcrete reinforced paving, it's just a paving, it's not a structural device, it's different than a failure on a radial gate wall. So, so we evaluate those, you know, in context of what job the concrete's doing. In this particular case, it had to do primarily not with strength, but it had to do with temperature cracks, with surface temperature cracks and appearance issues. But we still went ahead and made the decision. And I believe, Jay, the concrete company paid the entirety of the replacement of the concrete, right?
Excuse me. Peanut that stuff. So we came in and we negotiated at 50. Yeah, it was 50%. So we paid for 50%, and then they discounted we stopped using that vendor. Actually, we switched vendors.
That was my question, who the vendor was, and I had that question, and who was that, and you know, if we've done business with them before, but if it came out bad, I would suggest we don't use them again.
Right. It was Mini Concrete. Apparently, we had used them before on other jobs. So we noticed the deficiency in the concrete, or it was just the temperature cracking, as Dr. Beer stated, and it was on every panel. So he offered to put some epoxy and temporary, I guess, Band-Aids, but you know, I said we can't afford to have a piece of concrete come out while we're in irrigation and plug up the culvert at Mulberry, and then we have an overflow when we flood houses. I said, no, well, we need to take it out and do it right. So.
Yeah, obviously, that's always the best way to do it, is do it right, and you can place the blame and try to get your money back, but the main damn thing is for the future, our canal, good, that's the deal, but I mean, if it's a guy, and like I say, that's never happened very much, I don't even
No,
recall
it happened.
in case it happens, but if it does, you gotta look hard and long at your supplier, because that's, you know, pretty dang. Well, how do you say, and maybe it was part of our fault, but a lot of that's the excuse, and they're like y'all say, they look for a reason out of the deal. And there, you can have all the contracts you want, but there's things like that happen, and usually if the contractor's not a person that stands up behind their work and does things right, go to court so you understand that. It's a dead-end street on that, but and if it's covered in our contracts, you may be legally right, but to recover your stuff, and if you have to go to court, that's another deal, but just don't use them again, and hope like y'all doesn't happen. Way I look at it anyway.
And Pete and I met with him, and, you know, and I provided the opportunity to come back the next day and, you know, think about his decision, and he never got back with us. So, no, we changed vendors previously. We had already changed vendors. Paid 50%, it was like $10,000 of the concrete, and we moved on, and I said, you know, the opportunity's we're gonna pour a lot of concrete in the future. I said, you know, provided the opportunity to make it right, and I never heard back, so we moved on.
And that's all.
Sounds like you should. If you never heard back, that's a good indication you don't want to do business with them.
Correct.
And unfortunately, the bid process precludes us from picking who we want to use, basically the low bid, if I understand the procurement law, the low bid, and he's met all the bonding requirements or whatever requirements, we technically have to use them unless there's a specific clause such as past performance that he's a bad apple.
Which we have.
But in concrete,
I don't think we're required to use the lowest bidder. I don't think we ever have.
Well, I don't know.
No, we have clauses in there,
Okay,
you know,
so-
past performance and.
So when we go off the beaten path, like there's 2, maybe 3 vendors in town that are reputable and have done many of millions of dollars in the past.
Sure.
When we go and try to give a small guy an opportunity that's up and coming, those are the signs that, okay, be prepared, because this guy might fall into space. And if he falls into space, you gotta be prepared to do what you gotta do and kick him off.
He was not the low bidder. I mean, we had already moved from the low bidder for other reasons, delivery reasons, so, I mean, we moved on to the next one, so, you know, as you well know, concrete right now, the suppliers there, you know, there's a shortage of cement, and, you know, they prioritize on the big jobs, and, you know, trying to get the smaller jobs and getting someone to actually deliver the material, it's been problematic here as of late, so, but, we squared it away. We spoke with Pete and I met with him, and, you know, we stated what we needed, and, we never heard back, so we moved on, and we should be fine. I mean, the concrete, yeah, we redid it, and we reported, and it turned out great, and there's plenty of water in it right now, and all is well.
Living there.
Chocolate water.
Talk about his experience.
With the 947592, it says we reimburse that. You said we had to pay half of it?
Where is that, what?
On number 17 that Larry's talking about.
Yes,
See how it says?
so that was, the concrete was 21,000, so we paid 50%. We didn't want, again, you know, we could have gotten, as Dr. Bear mentioned, 0 and charged it for the labor, it would have lawsuit and
So
gone
we're
forward.
still the ones out, because we wouldn't normally have to pay that.
Yes, we negotiated 50%, I told him we didn't want to pay for anything, and I said, let's just move forward, because, yeah, we're gonna pursue the illegal issue, but, you know, I mean, he worked his way up, not working with the district in the future, which is,
Hey, you guys can still pursue the legal feature. I mean, if you guys want us to do them, we'll do them.
yep, we can, that's absolutely right, and that's, yeah, a discussion to be had, absolutely, if we wish to pursue that.
I think the first invoice for the litigation will be more than the money we'll get from the litigation.
Well, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, you'll spend more time
Yeah.
at last in court than anything you've ever done, so I kind of share the Jay and Al's opinion, move forward, because, I mean, you can do it. Yeah, our legal remedies still exist, but everybody's had enough experience with legal remedies to know they're hardly remedies, they're more hurt than help usually, so, my opinion is move on and do like Larry said, be sure that it's covered in the contract, but there again, a contract's just a meal ticket for lawyers, if it's not called. So,
Well, how often does these types of things happen?
it's unfortunate, but that's what it
It
is.
had not. This is
Oh, it's the first time ever?
No, we had an incident on 10 years ago or how many years ago for the Wasteway, it was a Wasteway 1 or Wasteway 2? I think it was Wasteway 2. It was a big incident. That was the boundary, did it, and we didn't want to accept it, and it was, they had a contractual relationship with the vendor, and that thing went on for years. Finally, we negotiated a redesign of it where we tore it out and the boundary paid us to fix it. But I don't believe the vendor ever paid for it, right, Jay? That was.
No, the contract was with IBWC, yeah, so we came back in after the district and tore everything out. But yeah, that was directly under contract with the boundary and what was the contract?
That was one around you, kid.
It was Wasteway 2, when they did the box culverts underneath the water fence.
Yeah.
But it was an IWC project, but yeah, we came in afterwards.
We had some sort
We
of.
came in and fixed it because the boundary just didn't pursue charges on them. I mean, there's nothing we could do legally there, it was up to them. But the boundary paid for all the costs for us to fix it, so that was good. So, and in a strange way, that one actually worked in our favor because of that partially because of that concrete lab failure there. We rebuilt the Wasteway 2. It was designed improperly too. And so we got to redesign it and fix it and to help Robert out. And I think it's working pretty good. Wasteway 2, it's not plugging up like it used to, right?
No, just at the beginning of the year, when we first put water in, that Riverside picks up all those tree branches from the Riverside, and it just gives us a problem for about 2 days, and then it's been working pretty good.
Yeah, but there isn't any design that would handle that problem. I mean, compared to where it was before, or where it's soaking up,
It works better than the old system.
yeah.
I have a question on 76. Is that in the budget or
76.
that's a
Yes.
overbuild excavator? What is that?
It's in the
used for?
budget.
Is that part of our?
It's in the budget, and it was at
On the capital?
capital improvement,
Capital
and
expenditures.
we had budgeted 300.
Finally arrived or did it finally arrive?
Yes, and I got some pictures on my PowerPoint
Well,
to
I'd
show
love
you
to
the
see,
machine.
yeah, I'd love to see it, see what we caught.
Yeah, I got a couple pictures in my PowerPoint.
Hey Pete, on, what is it, 21? Let me put my glasses on. On 21, we bought Power Max and then we bought Cornerstone. Have you had a chance to try them both? And see
Yeah,
what
well, the
results
Power
were?
Max, we know how it works. The Cornerstone, we started using it last week. So right now, we've sprayed a couple of canals with the Cornerstone so we can go and compare the Power Max versus the Cornerstone. But it seems to be like, almost like rounded. So I think for the price that the Cornerstone is, we
And
might
there's a big
just.
price difference on it?
There is. If you notice on number 22, number 20, 21 and 22,
Oh, yeah, you can see it.
you could see, so
Yeah.
the Cornerstone is running us about $6,000 for a tote versus 10 grand for the Power Max.
And you kind of saw that it's working pretty good, the Cornerstone?
It seems that way, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's still a little premature, but I figure by next week I should be able to notice what kind of kill we're getting.
It was 2150 a gallon.
Now there is a difference that on the Cornerstone, I do have to add surfactant to it, so I need to add the surfactant to the price of the Cornerstone,
Cornerstone.
and then weigh the differences.
Right.
And the Cornerstone is also cotton ready and pecan trees ready,
Right.
so just like
It's
the,
labeled for both.
yes.
Okay.
Forty-three, Xanax, Quanax, it's a Q, isn't it? Quanax.
Quince.
Quanax?
Yes.
Yeah, is that the place down on,
I think it's Rojas.
Tony Loma or somewhere in there, the one over back at Industrial,
I thought they're on,
it's on Rojas.
I thought they were on Rojas.
Well, maybe so. I'm just saying, it says 2-cylinder repair and 1-cylinder repair, and those are big numbers. Those are
Right.
big, what kind of cylinders?
These are the cylinders to the long reach excavators.
Oh, gosh.
On the ones you see that it says 2 on them, those are the side cylinders
Yeah.
that run the boom.
Yeah,
And the 1 cylinder is the real, it's a larger cylinder that runs the dipper.
wow. Have you had a chance to determine if that was a good repair?
Well, it's gonna be a good repair, yes.
Huh?
It's gonna be a good repair. I mean, they haven't been installed yet. I still have them back there because I'm working on the machine.
The reason I've asked, have you used this company before?
Oh, yes, yeah, we use them
Okay.
quite often for the cylinder repairs.
Okay.
It's on Pendale,
Pendle, yeah.
right, south of that.
And
So-
they also warranty their work pretty good, so we have had a couple that the packings start leaking, and all we gotta do is take them back and they'll do it
Okay.
right.
So there used to be another place right there in the industrial, right off Tony Lama there, I don't know, you remember that one? Don't remember that one. Anyway, okay. This is good to know.
I have, Pete, is this typical of maintenance for all of our equipment? Is this gonna be a $45,000 hit every month, you think, or is this just a spike for the summer or what?
No, actually, it's just these machines are already, I think, over 10, 12 years old.
Go ahead and say it, they're old?
They're older.
New equipment, or what?
Well, no, I mean, they're still good machines. It's a small investment for the machine, because the
Okay, so
machine,
we're still good with what we have, we just,
yes, yeah, they're still good machines. So this is just a typical maintenance,
at some
packing,
point or
usually
other, you
wear it
gotta
out.
call it a loss and get rid of the tractor, right? At some point or other, you make that call, right?
Right.
Okay.
25% of that, items 31 through 36, is outfitting the new pickups that came with strobe lights, all the
The
accessories.
usual
that are
stuff that
needed.
we need.
Yeah, that are needed, spotlights and whatnot, so about 25% of that was for the new vehicles that came in, and the units around it.
You know, and then strobe lights,
They're
you can see them from far. I've seen them, and it's a good deal.
$1,000 a piece.
They've gotten better.
Yeah, they're
No,
new.
you can see them.
We're using the magnetic
It's a
ones
newer
now.
model.
We moved to the magnetic ones, right? So we don't punch it through the
Oh, the
roof
spotlight.
anymore. So they're like the
Oh, that's good. That's awesome.
Yeah, and yeah, those are pretty
Yeah,
pricey,
you
but
can
they
see them
work
from
Those
really
guys, Larry, those were magnetic, that they can even step outside and still remote them,
Right,
move them around to where they need them.
yeah. Because I've seen especially over here, next to the city, they need them pretty bad. Them poor guys are in the traffic all the time. Yeah.
Item 47. That just seemed like a heck of a price for a diagnostic service.
Yes, and that's for a dump truck, not a
For a dump truck?
flatbed bed trailer, correct?
So
Yeah,
you
it's not
thought
a
it was
choice.
elaborate too, and you asked me already, haven't
So you already asked that question.
you? You already have. So,
Actually, that was for one of the Peterbilt dump trucks where we had to replace the motor. It used to have a Packard motor, and we installed a Cummins motor. So we had to take it to get the computer to speak to the electronics of the motor,
goodness, okay,
because we couldn't do it in-house. It actually takes a
special.
special
Peterbilt.
scanner or whatever.
Yeah, they
And
do that
unfortunately,
all the time.
Unfortunately, that scanner is not sold to the public. It's something you have to
That's,
take to the
that's why
dealer.
that lawsuit against John Deere, did you see that?
Yeah.
John,
We switched out to a Cummins.
oh boy, okay. 31.
Number 75, a replacement, or it seems like we get more than one at a time.
That's a new one, yeah. It's a new one that was ordered last June, one of Robert's, ditch rider, right?
Right. Ordered 3, got 1.
Has to be contract price, or that's cheap for a truck now.
It was last year, and it's a single cab,
Yeah, well, all of them are, aren't they? All your riders are,
the ditch riders, yeah.
they're single cab.
But yeah, no, that was locked in, and it was locked in prior to June, I think,
Yeah.
last year.
Those are bought under the buy board.
I think they were purchased
But
in.
buy it on the buy board, it's buy now and hopefully you get it back in
21.
21.
Yeah,
Dun, dun.
Seen it.
That's done.
Any other questions? Gentlemen? Mary? Okay. Mary, credit card?
We have a credit card
I think that was, anybody on the credit card? All right. Legal and consulting fees. Anybody? If you need to borrow a handkerchief, you should have brought it. With you. Dab the eyes a little bit.
Hey, can we go back to the, I have one checked off here.
Sure.
On the 501, number 8, is that something new? Oh, it's got Al's name on there, but what is that for? That's something new.
Those are attorneys for the collection of the taxes. Weinberger. we've had them
Weinberger,
for
Rowan, Blair.
38 years, yeah, 38 years, I believe.
It has nothing to do with Dr. Blair.
No, it's our,
It's another Blair.
it's our firm. Yeah, no, it's
So there's a name on there.
This is one of his umbrella companies?
No.
So this is a collection deal for
Yeah.
that length of time there?
Right, when we charge on July, the collection fee of 15%, that's what we pay our attorneys out, our collection fees when we collect them. So our attorneys collect that money to process the lawsuits and try to collect
Delinquent taxes.
delinquent taxes. Yes, sir.
That's not included in the retainer and all that stuff?
No,
No,
sir.
it's
Oh,
collected
they
from
do.
our customers,
Yes.
and in turn, we turn around and pay
Yeah.
Lineberger.
That's how they get paid, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Correct.
Yes, a 15% collection fee.
Okay.
They could do it for pro bono, no?
Yeah, that'd be all right.
And just for your information, they're on a 5-year contract term, and it expires August 8th of next month. So they'll want to come present to the board or and the contract to renew the contract. So we have a meeting next month, August 9th, but so we'll have that on the agenda for next month. And I think we've used them for about 35, 38 years.
They done okay?
Yes,
That's
excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
They do a lot
Back to where you were.
They do a lot of that work for the city and county.
They're good at what they do.
Mary, where are we at? We're back to the quarterly investment report? Is that where we're at?
Yes, which needs approval.
Which needs approval. And anything you want to touch on that?
Yeah, but I've gone over for the month of June,
Yeah.
which is similar.
You already touched on the few new ones, there they are right there. Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the quarterly investment report.
I move to accept the quarterly monthly report.
Second.
All right. George made the motion, Johnny second over Zoom. Just to change course here a little bit. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone
Aye.
opposed? Anyone opposed, same sign. All right.
Thank you.
I just wanted y'all to know I'm paying attention.
That's nice. You hadn't closed your eyes yet,
Although
okay.
I look like I'm asleep, I'm not.
All right, that's good. Sonia,
Good morning.
good morning.
We have no adjustments this month.
No
We're a
adjustment.
little
Okay.
slow.
Very good.
Okay, so all the other reports are just reviewed. We have the City of El Paso and Lord Valley Water District. The month of June, we got 7 contracts from PSB, El Paso Water, and we collected $564.86 in delinquent taxes from them.
Sonia, can you
Good.
speak in the microphone? Mr. Stubbs can't hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Stubbs. And then with Laura Valley, we haven't processed any contracts in the month of June. And then we also, our tax suits,
No suits.
well, of course, we added the 15% this month in July, the 15% collection fee that we do for Lineberg and Blair,
Okay.
yes. So our tax suit rate did go a little higher. And then our second report would be on the adjustment, tax assessment charges. Our percentage, my percentage was a little lower than it was last year. We're trying to call the farmers that haven't paid in certain accounts, but we did sound out statements in July, and Lineberg actually sends those out this month, and they send them out with a notice stating to pay, so hopefully this month we'll collect a little bit more, because they do see the attorney is sending it to them, so they get upset at us, or
So people for this month to be a little bit better. That's it for me.
Yeah, there's some of those old things you were talking about, the old 1918.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's some of that old stuff, it's been around forever.
Damn.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
All right, well, Sonia, thank you. Y'all are doing wonderful, and you lucked out because you don't have any of them.
Yes, I did.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you very much. All right, let me look here. Jay, you're next in line.
Yes, I just have, so we have some stuff in the grants later, but on this, so I went up to Fort Worth. I just want to give you an update on this expo I went to, the Fuel Expo in Fort Worth. I had never been to one. It's pretty impressive. Bunch of vendors and all kinds of ideas and new equipment and whatnot. But I did meet with quite a few vendors on, kind of streamlining our fuel and simplifying the whole effort to quantify gallons and have a report and whatnot. We met with two of them. One came yesterday, presented some equipment. He outfits all Border Patrol and the school districts. So with that type of machine or equipment, we need to have on-site tanks to pump our, so we basically pump our fuel out here. So he brought a representative from local, he's local DH, and Pete, Robert, Lisa, and I met with them. So we're waiting on some quotes on maybe, and our insurance as well, to see possibility of having a tank. We have a 4,000 gallon right now, but upgrading to a 12,000 gallon tank and doing all our fueling here for diesel. And we're gonna check on gas, obviously gas being more flammable, whatnot, so check on permitting and insurance and all the requirements and what cost that would be to have all that centralized here and one in the kind of field yard. And with the automation, the pump is here mounted on the tanks, and then there's some identifiers, radio frequency ID tags on the vehicles, and it basically, once the pump goes in there, it reads the vehicle, the odometer, the computer on the vehicle. If there's any deficiencies, check engine light, or it's pretty impressive. But more so in the reporting, goes directly to a cloud, and it's on the internet, so we can print out a report, quantifies all the gallons, and that gives us the opportunity to potentially purchase gas or diesel directly from the refinery, and it'll come here directly, and we don't have to go through a third party, so it'll be directly from the refinery, which should be a significant savings. So we're meeting with them, and it seems like yesterday this guy, he outfits, like I said, Border Patrol and a lot of the school districts, and the city of El Paso. So it seems like the person with the knowledge of the local knowledge, and he's got plenty of products, and so we're waiting on some proposals from them, and then the insurance and quotes for the tank on sites, and then we'll bring it up with y'all. We'll bring it to y'all once we get some information.
They give you a cost estimate on doing this whole deal?
So the machines are the 13,000 that goes on the tank, and and he said that was kind of the higher end because they are on the buy board, so that's good. So the machine's 13, and then the RFIDs that go on the units are 500, and it's a one-time cost, and they support, and so that's essentially it, the cost for those. And installation, he quoted 200 a unit, I think is what he said. Yes, 250 a unit. So, and it's a local DH.
250 unit.
To install the RFID on the vehicles and connect it to the computer. And
What's the RFID?
It's a radio frequency identifier, so it connects via radio frequency cellular to the pump. So when you get the pump and you put it in the truck, it recognizes the vehicle and identifies the vehicle per unit, records the odometer on the computer, and it records everything and puts it in a report.
And what about for the big equipment?
They go on those as well. They record hours, so they record hours on the big equipment.
And you're gonna have Central one and one
So-
on the west side, or?
Yes, and on a trailer, we currently have a 750-gallon mobile trailer, so we could, one of these units, that one was at 14 as well, 14,000, the unit goes on the trailer. So when we go fuel the equipment out, it'll do the same. It's on a cellular deal, so it's really neat. So it'll record hours, and, you know, for those that, you know, obviously there's an odometer on the excavators or whatnot, so like that, it'll record hours and the unit, and, you know, it can track up to like 8 items, you know, oil levels, DEF levels, O2 sensors, there's a lot that can be done with that
This guy
software.
local?
Yes, yes, so the Fuel Masters is the guy, Pat Goff, his name's Pat Goff, same as the guy here in town. When I met him at the vendor at Fort Worth, he's like, no, everybody from El Paso.
It's a furniture guy?
Yeah, everybody from El Paso is like related to Pat Goff, but his company is Centec. He's out of Victoria, but they use a DH. DH is their local distributor for all the products, so they're the ones that install and maintain and everything. So, and they, like I said, he does all the border patrol stations nationwide and school districts. So
So we have one tank of 750 gallons to take out the peat stuff. And-
yeah, we have that, and then we have the supervisor has some auxiliary tanks on their
Oh.
trucks. So those will be can have